I'm Lauren Whiteurst. I'm a certified personal trainer and certified nutrition coach.
Hi, I'm Sunni Lippincott. I'm a certified professional life coach and a certified brain health professional. And together we make Whole Life Vitality.
We teach whole life vitality of the mind, body, and soul, bringing the physical, emotional, and spiritual together for whole life wellness. Welcome back, friends.
Welcome back.
Oh, always so fun to see you. I know I say that every time, but seriously, I just get so excited to see you. So I'm so happy you're here.
Yes.
Today we are talking about something that I am very excited about. This is kind of the crossover world between the nutrition and mental health and mindset and brain health and all of those things that I know we love to talk about.
Yes. And excited Lauren is my favorite. She's my favorite Lauren.
I'll try really hard not to soapbox.
No, I love excited Lauren. I get all the Laurens. I get encouraging Lauren and kick me in the pants Lauren. I've gotten a lot of Laurens this morning. She's trying to help me grow.
That's true.
So I'm like, oh, Lauren, to kick me in the pants. I'm like, you're right. But excited Lauren's my favorite.
She's pretty fun. She's pretty fun.
I do. I like her.
All right, so we're just going to dive right in because I don't want to keep you all day. And this is a subject that we could literally talk about like all day. I'm not using that word figuratively at all. We could literally talk about it all day long.
We could.
All right, so when it comes to mental health and mindset, I think, is a big part of that because it's hard to maintain our mindset when our mental health is deteriorating.
He's in the crapper.
Yes, but think about the mental health things that we hear about most often, right? ADD gets talked about a lot. Bipolar, depression, anxiety, even psychosis. Right? Like there's so much out there in the world of mental health. And today we're going to talk about how nutrition plays a role in that. Ooh. Big deal. Big deal. All right. So all of my information comes from all over the place. So I will do my best to cite the sources that I can for you. But let's be fair. Sunny was like, how are you going to get this into 30 minutes? Because this is like 20 years of my life.
Yeah.
Trying to like throw it all at you at once. But we'll try to make
it's your passion.
We'll try to make it easy
it's
to absorb. All right. So they have done... the grander they in the science world where all of the studies happen, that they have done so many studies. All right. So in the last 5 years, there have been 11 epidemiological studies in large populations around the world, all showing the same thing. The more you eat Mediterranean or unprocessed or whole food plant-based diet, the lower the risk of depression and other mental health issues. And the more you eat the Western diet, which we all are very familiar with here in America because we invented it. Yeah. Go Americans.
Yeah.
Right?
If you aren't good with location, West is us.
It's us. Yeah. The worse it gets. And we kind of maybe sort of have an idea of that just because think about what our great-grandparents ate.
Oh, yeah.
What would your
food.
Great-grandmother consider food? If she went into her refrigerator or her freezer and went to go pull out food, she's not pulling out something that's been processed and put in a box. She's pulling out, a chicken.
My great-grandmother went out back
to
her garden.
There you go. Maybe.
and pulled things out of her garden to cook.
Right. Because that was food to them. If your great-grandmother showed up today and went in your kitchen and opened your pantry, would she even recognize any of that as food?
Absolutely not.
So then it shouldn't be super shocking when we look at the rise in mental health.
Right.
And the way that it affects our body, the way that this food is affecting our bodies. So the Mediterranean diet is pretty popular. There have been study after study after study after study about how amazing it is for your brain health. It's high in omega-3 fatty acids, and it is low in processed food, right? It is phenomenal. Actually, the documentary Blue Zones talks about all the different areas in the world where it has the most concentrated populations of octogenarians, right? These people who live to be over 100. And there is a place in Greece, right there off the Mediterranean, where people do. They live to be over 100 regularly. Like it is very common to find someone who is over 100 years old, who is still walking around and talking and living an active life and, has all their faculties about them. And a lot of it has to do with this high nutrient dense lifestyle that they're living, this diet that they're consuming. Processed foods create havoc in the gut.
Yeah.
They just do.
Oh.
I mean, think about...
That's no joke.
Yeah, think about what feeds your gut, right? You have tons and tons of bacteria in your gut, and we want that. Mm-hmm. That's what makes up your gut microbiome. And thank you, good bacteria. But the processed food feeds the bad bacteria. Have you heard of Candida?
No, what is Candida?
Okay, so Candida, it's funny because they say it's a first world problem because Candida is from yeast overgrowth. And think about other countries where maybe they don't have such an abundance of food and processed food, and they're not going to get yeast overgrowth because let's be fair, they're not consuming enough processed food or sugar to feed the yeast to let it grow. And that Candida then grows in your body and makes you sick. I mean, we could do a whole podcast just on yeast and Candida and the effects it has on your body, but it's bad. Nobody wants it.
It sounds bad.
Right. But again, first world problem. Okay. So we're sitting here with all of our fast food and all of our easy foods from the store and consuming them because they're there.
Yeah.
Right. The toaster waffle is easy to feed your kids in the morning. Like as someone who has spent more than 20 years of my life doing nutrition, the toaster waffle is still easy. Like, I mean, I will still tell you the toaster waffle is easy. At this point in my existence, I make the waffles and then freeze them so that I can put them in the toaster and I know what I'm feeding my kids. But I have bought toaster waffles from the store and tossed them in and fed them to my kids as we're trying to get out the door in the morning. All right. Gut problems, that's the bad bacteria overgrowth, right, are very, very commonly coincide with brain problems, directly linked. Have you heard of the gut as the second brain?
Yes. Well, I have because
this is what you do.
Because it's mindset world. Yes.
Yeah. And Dr. Amen is a psychiatrist who we both study and trust. And he is just a phenomenal resource if you're looking for someone for more information on the topic.
Absolutely.
But he talks about this a lot.
A lot.
But autism, Parkinson's disease, anxiety, and depression are just a few that we know are directly connected to the gut. Parkinson's often comes with an onset of constipation, sometimes even decades before the brain disease manifests. Have you ever been constipated, Sunny?
Well, I have IBS. So yes, yes, I have.
I have struggled with IBS and constipation since I was a young child.
Same.
I remember thinking people can just use the bathroom. Like
multiple times a day,
just like willy nilly, like it's no big deal. I mean, was a small child sitting on the potty for what felt like forever.
Well, and to be understanding, in case you do not, there's IBS-C. So the IBS, that's the constipated version of IBS. Right. Which is in case you were like, IBS, don't you have diarrhea all the time? No, actually.
Well, and diarrhea is a form of constipation because they both have to do with your body not absorbing what it needs to.
It's one extreme or the other.
Exactly. Right? You get both ends.
You get both.
Yes, IBS-C is the one that has a lot of constipation with it. And I have met people who have said the last time they used the bathroom was 10 days ago.
Yes.
Very
common.
A week ago.
Yeah,
or
very common.
When I meet with clients, I'm like, how often are you eliminating? And I don't know, maybe twice a week.
Yeah.
So let's just be clear here. Healthy eliminations are multiple times a day. A day. As in like within a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
Not just, I go first thing in the morning after I have my coffee, but multiple times a day. And when your gut bacteria is balanced, when you have a lot of that good bacteria and the bad bacteria is really kept at bay because that good bacteria has taken over, you do use the bathroom multiple times a day. When your nutrition is like on par and you're eating the foods that your body can naturally absorb really well, you will.
It's an excellent lesson in cause and effect. People.
Yes. Yes, that is so true.
Because you're eating what God created, the effect is elimination comes. It's amazing. He designed your body to work optimally. And when you put in
the food that he made,
food that he created, it works.
Yeah.
That's astounding.
It's amazing. All right. People with depression symptoms are missing certain bacteria in their gut that produce chemicals which shape brain chemistry.
Yes.
They have done studies on these specific gut bacteria, and they have given mice the bacteria from a healthy gut. And of course, the mice just behaves normally. And I don't come at us for like the studies on the animals, guys. Because,
we're not doing them.
Because we're not doing them, and they don't make me very happy either. Okay, but they have done studies on these mice, and the mice that received the good bacteria behaved normally. They ate normally. They used the bathroom normally. The happy mice just going about living their lives. But when they gave these mice the bacteria from a depressed person with the lower count of good bacteria in their guts, they got depressed.
Wow.
They got depressed. I mean, it is directly connected. There is a whole world of science lately, as an up and coming science, where you can become a psychiatrist of nutrition.
Oh yeah, because it's an epidemic.
Exactly.
Right now.
And that's how closely it is connected with what you consume and the way that your body works. It's not just will it help me lose weight?
Right.
It's how long do I want to live? Do I want to die of Alzheimer's? Do I want to die of Parkinson's? Do I want to have a brain degenerative disease that wears me out and I don't even recognize my family in my 60s?
No, what I want to do is sleep longer. So I'll just opt for the toaster, or I want to be skinny. So I'll just, either not eat or take a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
I'll eat some powdered food.
Yep.
How about that? Yep. And some meal bars.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know about you, but when I heard that about the good bacteria, and also let me just tell you, this good bacteria, when you have an abundance of it in your gut, you naturally balance out your weight. People with this good bacteria are a lower and healthier weight. Yeah. People who are overweight and obese don't have this good bacteria in abundance. Right. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, awesome. How do I get this good bacteria? Right? I'm like, where can I get some of that? That sounds great. Specifically, chicory root. If you're not familiar with chicory root, I'm
familiar.
I drink it every morning. I love it. The stuff is so good.
It's intense.
It kind of has a coffee-like flavor to it. It is not coffee to all you coffee lovers, but it is still delicious. I drink it in the form of Ticino, is a brand of basically a coffee alternative.
It is not what is it? How do you pronounce it?
Ticino.
Ticino. There you go. I've had that at her house,
and
it is not. But like New Orleans, the Cafe Du Monde, where they have the chicory coffee, that stuff will turn you black. It is like, wow.
It can be very intense because it's a deep, dark flavor.
Yeah.
But when you're having it not in coffee and it's just the coffee alternative, then that deep flavor is kind of what makes it taste coffee adjacent.
Yeah, but it's smooth.
It is
that
very
way.
smooth.
It's very smooth. Mm-hmm. It's not offensive.
Yep. But it is a good prebiotic, which then helps your body build more of that good bacteria. Jerusalem artichoke. Again, just an artichoke, but a Jerusalem artichoke, and delicious to eat if you've not had artichokes. I think a lot of us have had artichokes in like a spinach artichoke dip kind of situation.
To TGI Friday, you got the appetizer.
Right. Isn't that so funny? Why is it always TGI Friday? But that is exactly what I think too.
I don't, because we're 90s kids. I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know.
Does TGI Friday even exist anymore?
I haven't been to one in, I'm talking decades.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
They don't have them here. Okay. And dandelion greens. We're from the South. We like our greens here. We do. We like our greens here.
I do like some greens.
Specifically dandelion greens. You're like, but isn't that the weed that grows in my yard? Yes. Yes, it is the weed that grows in your yard.
Who would have thought?
Yep. You can actually go out to your yard, pick the dandelions, clean them off, and eat them. You can.
You are blowing my mind
And
right now.
there's so much benefit in that. The actual flowers, you know, the yellow dandelion flowers, eating the flowers, so many benefits. Eating the greens, so many benefits. But yes, you can add them to salads, saute them, or put them in smoothies. Like,
Where do you buy them?
my guess would be like a health food store. It seems like you could maybe even get dried dandelion greens and add them to things that way. But if you can find them fresh, I mean, let's be fair. If you don't live in a place that's just all cement, because I moved here from downtown Dallas where it was all cement.
Yes.
But if you don't live in a place like that, then you can probably just find dandelions or they're a weed. Okay. They grow in abundance. You put one dandelion seed down and pretty much your whole yard's going to be covered in dandelions.
Make sure if you're like having people spray like Roundup in your
Right.
yard, don't go pick your
Right.
weeds and then eat them.
That's true. That's
Okay,
true.
be
But
careful.
maybe have a little dandelion garden.
Yes.
Do a raised
so
garden bed
smart.
and plant a couple dandelion seeds because like we've seen, they take over in a hurry.
Let me tell you something. I have always wanted to have a garden.
And dandelion?
and it's very intimidating
They'll
to me.
grow like weeds.
But ask me to grow a weed. That's my jam.
That's
I will
right.
grow you a weed.
That's right.
I could do that. I could do that.
Okay. So how do we then support our bodies, right? How do we
Yeah.
feed them well? Because we know, okay, they call it the SAD diet for a reason, guys. The standard American diet is sad. It makes you sad. It makes your body feel bad. Nothing about it makes you feel fantastic, except for maybe the excitement that you get in your taste buds when you first taste
Yeah,
it.
that first bite.
Yes.
Like dopamine. But
Yes.
then
Yes. Speaking of dopamine, Sunny knows all about dopamine because she's done so much with brain health, but it is a feel-good hormone.
it is.
And
Yes.
it is, when you have ADD, it is what your brain is generally lacking.
Yeah.
Did you know that a banana has 10 milligrams of dopamine?
No way.
Yes, it does. A banana.
A banana. Guys, that is the most, like, that is the simple fruit to take with you. You can throw that in your bag.
They're everywhere and they're cheap.
You don't even have to, like, cut that one up or
Yep.
wash it or anything. You literally take it, peel it. It's on the go fruit.
Yep. And bananas, you don't have to buy them organic.
Yeah.
Because it has a thick skin and
Right.
you're not going to eat the skin. And
Right.
so you can find them. I mean, come on, you can find bananas in gas stations.
Yes.
Like you can find bananas.
They're everywhere.
Pretty much everywhere. They're easy grab and go. And especially when you pair it with something like a handful of nuts,
Yeah. And affordable. You can't even, like, they're affordable.
Brazil nuts. Wonderful, wonderful for your mental health. But did you know that peanuts have tryptophan in them? I know. Okay, so most people have heard of tryptophan when it comes to Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes,
Right? Because
yes.
turkey and then tryptophan, well, what does it do? It leaves you relaxed. It leaves you feeling good.
Yeah.
It leaves you, your stress comes down. But let me just see, I have a note here about tryptophan. Okay. Because it leaves you feeling so good, then it helps regulate your serotonin levels, and it can be found in eggs, oatmeal, chicken, turkey, like we talked about, and peanuts, all in high levels. So
Now, come on. Even if you are baby, like you are a baby to nutrition, you eat those things.
And who doesn't love bananas and peanut butter?
Yes. Okay.
Right?
So I know we freaked you out a second when you're like, eat weeds, but those things are probably all things that you have in your house right now.
Yep. Bananas
on.
and peanut butter.
Yes. It's delicious.
It's delicious.
I love bananas and peanut butter.
Yep. A 2019 study found that when people who have mental health challenges increase their fruits and vegetable intake, it reduces their symptoms. Bottom line, fruits and vegetables go up, symptoms go down. So when I talk to my clients, I tell them 90-10 because I want to freak them out. Because I think that if you tell someone have 90% of your nutrition come from fruits and vegetables, they kind of land around 70-30
they're gonna-
or 80-20.
That's good. That's smart.
But
That's smart.
If you aim for 90-10, you'll hit with around, 70 or 80% of your nutrition coming from those plants.
Yes.
Right. And those plants give your body necessary minerals that it will not get otherwise.
Yeah.
Necessary vitamins and minerals. They did studies where they just gave these people with intense mental health disorders, like psychosis, like intense mental health disorders. They gave them steady streams of minerals.
Yeah.
And not only did they improve dramatically, but as I don't want to say cure because, they improved dramatically, so dramatically, in fact, that it was noted in all of these studies. And then as opposed to taking a medication, and then with the medication, your symptoms slowly start to come back as the medication wears off. With the minerals, they did not come back. And then years later, decades later, they tracked these people and the symptoms were still diminished.
Come on now. Come on. That's amazing.
There's so much out there. And I feel like we could go round and round and round with the importance of eating a whole food, plant-based diet.
I will tell you, I was in one of Lauren's classes on nutrition, and so this is something that we can all do. This is 101, to look at your plate and notice color. Mm-hmm. So even if you're not sure about like, what is nutrition? I have no idea, a yellow plate. So if you have a plate that's all beige, like literally all different colors of tan and beige,
which is pretty common. Go to a restaurant and order a meal, and that's usually what it comes out looking like.
It makes you sad. Like that's what color you think about a coloring box. Which colors do you not use?
Beige.
The beige. You don't use the beige, but a colorful plate is good for you. So notice if your plate is lacking color, it's lacking the minerals and the nutrients that you need.
Yep. Okay, so if you're looking to supplement, if you're looking to add some supplements to your plan because you're like, okay, thank you. Thanks for letting me know. Great. Yeah, but I can't just live off fruits and vegetables. And you know what? Honestly, some people just can't afford it.
Right.
Because fruits and vegetables
it's the world we live in right
are
now.
a little bit pricey. And sometimes it's just easier to run through and grab something from a dollar menu. So if you need to supplement, there are some ways to do that are actually very affordable. And I will put links in the description. Now, all of these links are not quote unquote prescribed by me because I'm not a doctor and I can't do that. But I did get this information from a credible neuroscientist. So there you go. That's where this is coming from. So the nutrient deficiencies that lead to anxiety and depression and mental health disorders would be magnesium. Magnesium is really simple to supplement. If you have issues with sleep, with stress, with digestion, you probably don't have enough magnesium in your diet. You can eat foods high in magnesium. You can, which is great. But if you don't have access to that, then you're going to supplement. Try a magnesium glycinate. It absorbs really well and it's very gentle on your digestive tract. If you go to the store and you just get the regular magnesium, I believe it's citrate that you can find at the store, then if you are constipated, it does help relieve that constipation. However, if you are not, you might find that you visit the bathroom.
Very uncomfortable for a little bit.
Quite a bit. So look at that magnesium. There are, I think, 7 different types of magnesium. So lots of different ones to choose from. The next thing that I would supplement is omega-3s.
Okay. Yeah. Dr. Amen talks about that a lot.
A lot. Yes. Omega-3s, big in the mental health world because your brain, okay, ready? Less than 10% of Americans have adequate omega-3 levels. Less than 10%. But in order to get enough omega-3 just from, fish, you would need to have 3 servings of fish a day.
Oh, that is a lot of fish.
That's a lot of fish.
And listen, I'm from a seafood family. We have fresh seafood, but that's even a lot for us.
Yep. And with fish, especially farmed fish these days, the mercury levels are usually pretty high.
Yes.
So you can get a cod liver oil supplement or a different fish oil supplement. Again, I will link one below, one that I believe is very good. But omega-3s, studies have shown that it helps with learning, memory, your mental well-being, and blood flow to the brain.
Which is so necessary for brain health.
If you don't have blood flow,
Guess
in
what
your
happens to
brain,
you?
You think anything's going to work? What happens if you don't have blood flow in your heart, Sunny?
Well, you did.
If you don't have blood flow in your brain dead.
Your brain dead.
Your brain dead. All right, vitamin D. Anybody familiar with vitamin D? I love vitamin D. Because I live here in the South where it's sunny a lot.
Yeah, we are blessed with that.
We are.
We get it, and we can have it most year round.
That's right. But in areas where there's not as much sun, have you heard of seasonal effectiveness disorder?
Oh, absolutely.
And they call it SAD, not the standard American diet, but another version of SAD. And because it's depression, it's basically seasonal depression. And a lot of that comes from not having enough vitamin D. Now you can supplement vitamin D. And if you're going to do that, then you want to supplement a vitamin D that also has a K2 in it, because that will help with absorption. But if you want to go outside, then I'm going to tell you what you need to do. So a UCLA study done in Valencia, Spain, and I mean, I'm just going to assume it's pretty sunny there.
Yeah.
If we have any listeners from Spain, if you want to let us know, that'd be wonderful. But I'm going to assume it's pretty sunny there. So if 25% of your body is exposed, that would be, the hands, the face, the neck, the arms, not your core, just,
Right.
your extremities are exposed, then you really only need about 8 to 10 minutes
Yes.
of sun exposure.
Yes. I have heard that.
At midday. So not sun up and sun down, but you think in like midday where the sun is pretty hot, but 8 to 10 minutes.
Yes.
And unless you're the fairest of the fair, usually people can tolerate 8 to 10 minutes.
I was listening to a dermatologist say you can safely get like 20 without putting sunscreen on to absorb into your body.
Yep.
And
that's, so with 25% of your body exposed, if it was wintertime and only 10% of your body was exposed, so we're talking like very minimal exposure because it's chilly.
Because you're cold.
Because you're cold. Then you would need more like 2 hours of sun exposure.
Yeah.
But even when it's cooler, and I say cooler because we live in the South and so it doesn't ever get like frigid, then I'll often go outside and lay in the sun and just lift my shirt.
Yeah.
So my belly is exposed or my back is exposed, or pull my pants up so the lower leg is exposed, so you can get sun that way.
And doesn't it feel like it just hits different, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. Yep. Your body absorbs it so different. But this is also based on different areas of the world, right? And so in Spain, that's what you would need. In another study comparing the geographic extremes of Miami and Boston, right? Researchers studied people who tanned well, but who still burned when exposed to the sun. In the summer in Miami, with 25% of the body exposed to the sun, a person would only need 3 minutes of sun exposure to make a sufficient amount of vitamin D.
You real far south in Miami.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all you need. So if you're like, oh, but skin damage, 3 minutes, guys. We're talking like take a leisurely stroll to your car in the morning.
Yeah.
Right?
You can check the mail.
Yes. Please, that takes longer than 3 minutes. When placed in Boston in the winter, they would need 23 minutes at noon to produce vitamin D. So again, in Boston, maybe it's a little cloudier, not as sunny, not as warm.
The humidity is not,
Right.
So you can actually walk to lunch. Leave the office, walk to lunch.
Yep. Because they're saying in Boston in the winter, it's really cold. So you would probably only have about 5% or less of your body exposed to the sun. But still, you would only need 23 minutes in the sun.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep.
We're not asking you to fry your body for 3 hours.
We are not.
It's like 3 minutes.
Yep. So if
3
you
to
live,
20.
if you're in Alaska and you're all bundled up like an Eskimo, then I get it. It's really cold, but your face is still exposed.
Yeah.
And if you're going outside at all, soak it up.
Yeah. Just sit there for a second. Let your face hit the sun.
Yep. It really does so many amazing things for your mental health, and it builds. This builds up. It's not like if I missed my sun exposure today.
Yeah.
You know, you can go out today, and then if you can't go out tomorrow, don't go out tomorrow.
And it doesn't cost anything.
It doesn't cost anything.
It's free healthcare.
Remember when I told you we're going to make this really cost effective? Doesn't cost anything. Speaking of the other thing that doesn't cost anything, did you know that your brain is 80% water?
I did know that.
You know why? Because Dr. Amen told us.
Yeah. Because
Dr. Amen told us.
I did know
But that means that if you are not hydrating,
yes,
or you're living off of coffee, where you are constantly flushing all the excess water out of your body because coffee is a diuretic, then your brain is not getting enough hydration.
And that comes with a whole host of issues.
Yes. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. So Dr. Amen actually recommends that when starting out with the plan, when looking at nutrition for mental health, then you do an elimination diet. So you eliminate all the big ones that people could potentially have a problem with. That would be wheat, dairy, corn, soy, artificial colors, artificial sweeteners, and sugar, right? So it's a lot.
Yeah.
But what does that leave you with?
Real food.
Real food. It leaves you with produce and meat, essentially. I mean, you can have other grains. You can have rice, you can have quinoa, you can have spelt. Like there are so many other grains that you could potentially have when you're eliminating wheat. And then as you eliminate those things, he said within 3 weeks, he generally sees a huge turnaround in his patients.
Absolutely.
Like night and day turnaround. And after that 21-day mark, then you add things back one at a time and you pay attention.
Yeah. And see what's going on.
And he said, what you do is you land on a list of foods that you like that like you back.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
I know, right? He said that he had a patient that he did this elimination diet with, and this patient had been in and out of treatment facilities. They had gone through shock therapy. They had really tried everything. Like this was a last ditch effort because this person had psychosis and was suicidal. Yeah. And they did an elimination diet, and he said night and day, completely different person at that 3-week mark. And then they started adding things back, and they added in wheat and everything was fine. And they added in dairy and everything was fine. And when they added in corn, the man said within 20 minutes, he started having visuals of unaliving himself. Within 20 minutes
it's
of
a real
consuming
thing.
The corn.
It's a real thing.
Yep. The food that we eat might not be the same for everyone.
Right.
You know, corn is very heavily sprayed, often genetically modified. It is not the same corn that our great grandparents were eating.
Right.
And it is very inflammatory in our bodies, which that inflammation dramatically affects our brains. So I know we talked about a lot today. I feel like I did a 6-week nutrition class here and it was so fun. But again, that was an hour a night for once a week for 6 weeks. And so we covered a lot, and I love talking about this with you guys, but I just need for you to know that if you are in a place where you're feeling anxious or you're feeling depressed or you're having trouble sleeping or you're having thoughts where you're considering harming yourself, first of all, there are people that can help.
Absolutely.
And we'll put a hotline down below where you can call and get help immediately. But we are also here for you. If you want to talk, if you're looking for mindset advice, if you're looking for nutrition advice, we're here. But it's not so scary.
No. And we're not asking you to remember everything that you heard on this podcast. If you have any questions, anything, or just one thing sparked to you, please reach out. Please send us a message. Like Lauren said, we're happy to answer any questions and send you anyway. And it starts with baby steps. Do not try to apply everything that you just heard all at once. Take baby steps towards your health. You know, just take it one bite, literally, at a time.
I recommend that people start wherever you are, kind of note where you are, reflect on that circle of what you can control.
Yes.
And then say, wherever I am, if I don't eat any vegetables or any fruits, then maybe add one in a day.
Yes.
One.
Yes.
Start with one. and slowly work your way up. If you are a kind of person who gets up and, hits the drive-through every single morning for breakfast, then maybe make your own at home.
Get up
one morning a week.
20 minutes early and make your breakfast and see how your body reacts differently to that.
You can grow your good bacteria and diminish your bad bacteria. You can completely turn around your mental health. You can completely turn around your physical health just through what you consume.
Yes.
It makes all the difference. Oh, Sunny, it's been fun.
I know. I'm super encouraged.
It has been fun. Thank you so much for showing up today. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share, because I know you know someone who would benefit from this information. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. We love to see you. We love to hear from you. We love doing life with you. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, friends.